with that single impossible fact. Dead. She isn't dead. No, Mrs. White. No. Kneeling in her room, I must have looked a mess, flushed and unravelled, my hands grimy with dust from the papers, but I was so sure of what I wanted. I scraped my hair behind my ears. We hadn't been in this room for months, but all the evidence was in here, a paper trail leading all the way back. "Can you help me?" I said. "I can't have her room looking like this. Please, Robert, not this way." I wanted a home, a sanctuary, not a display of everything that had gone wrong. I couldn't let it be like that now. Sam and Laurie knelt on the floor beside me too. "But are you sure she won't want these?" Sam was saying. I leaned forward to bring blood to my head. There was so much crammed into this small space. For so long we hadn't known what to do with her room. Change it, leave it, even my sister Lillian hadn't been able to say. My sister who always had the answers to everything. To begin with, we'd tried to leave everything untouched, ready for her to come back to, but it was so hard to see her room like that. The toys, books, clothes, a constant reminder that she wasn't here. I think it started with the photos the police needed for the posters and news bulletins, the school portraits we'd laid out on her bed. Small changes at first, small additions. Over time, though, year after year, we'd hoarded so much in here that by now it resembled an incident room, the corkboard above her desk cluttered with the small, flat cards the officers had kept handing over at the end of every meeting, saying, "If there's anything you need, anything else you think of, just call." The walls covered with newspaper articles about her own and other abductions that might somehow shed light. Then the computer composites of how she might have looked at 9, 10, 12. My beautiful daughter. The boxes and boxes of posters Robert used to print up every year, all symbols of our search for her. But I didn't want her to be faced with all this, so much pain and desperation and loss. It was a home she needed, her family to welcome her, normality, happiness, the hurt over now. I steadied myself with a palm against the floor and looked up at Robert, my husband, standing upright again now. "Please, can you bring her things down from the loft?" I asked him. All the things we'd put away up there. I want her to see. I want her to have them. Without saying anything, without questioning me or hesitating, my husband went to unclip the loft ladder. The thought of his goodness almost closed up my throat, and I had to swallow my mouth dry to make it pass. This was all we'd ever dreamed of, and Robert had stood by me all the years in between, so why was I terrified that it might all change now? Laurie bumped my arm with the stack of papers he'd collected up, and I added them to the almost full box beside me. Did they really understand what we were doing here? How much had Robert been able to explain? Their sister, who they had barely known, was coming home. Had they really grasped that fact? To them she'd been little more than a name, photographs, memories, but now their missing sister would be here, in the flesh. I looked down at them, my sons, the children Robert and I had made together, creations that had cemented our relationship. How good our family had been like that. And now we'd be 5 again, our whole family rejoined. And her room, my daughter's room, would be filled with her presence. My phone shrieked, my shoulders jerked. I dragged my mobile from my pocket, Lillian's name flashing on the screen. Lillian, my sister, whom I'd called even before I'd rung Robert. The person I always called in my life, 6 years older, my sister who knew me, who helped me, who always, always knew what to do. I had left her a message, a garbled, frantic, delirious message, and now she was calling me back. My hands slipped on the screen as I swiped to answer. Above me I could hear the loft floorboards creaking. "Lillian? Annie?" "The police down in London. They've found her." "I know, I heard. I got your message. But, Annie, are they sure?" "It's her, Lillian.